next presenter is a representative of the Langer and Anderson laboratories up on the top floor of our building here. So Omar Khan is going to talk to us about target practice, improving gene therapy with nanotechnology. You probably want this.
Oh, that'd be great. Can everybody hear me? Is this me? Yeah, all right, great. So I work in the Langer and Anderson labs, and the image that I'll be presenting tonight was taken with the help of Ed Zaya, who I work with and is in the audience somewhere. And there he is. So what we do is we try to make smart nanotechnology that can target specific cancer tumors in specific areas. So imagine, you see up in the upper corner here, you have a piece of tissue or flesh from someone who has cancer. If you happen to look a bit more closely at that tissue and inside of it, you may see that green cancer tumor. What you'll also notice is that there are a lot of blood vessels there. And if you zoom in a bit more, you can see that here we have a blood vessel, and it kind of splits off into two. And on one side, you have regular healthy tissue, and on the other side, you have that cancer tumor. Our task is to create smart nanotechnology that can travel through the blood, and when it finds this tumor, exit the bloodstream and enter the tumor to do some kind of therapy. We want it smart enough so that it doesn't exit somewhere else and go to healthy tissue. And that's the real big challenge of this sort of thing. And the way we do that is that we build new nanoparticles. So what we found is that depending on what we want to deliver to those tumors, we can change the chemistry. So for example, one of my favorites is to build nanoparticles that carry new bits of genetic information into those tumor cells. Now, genetic information is basically an instruction set for your cells. So by putting this into the cell, you can give the tumor cell, new instructions. And in that way, you can tell it to stop being a cancer tumor and hopefully help it like that. So we can also change the chemistry to take in something else, such as a chemical, like a chemotherapeutic, that's designed to perhaps kill the cancer tumor. And the way we can achieve targeting is on this outside bit here. So if we change the chemistry on the outside of these nanoparticles, we can actually get them to go to different parts of the body, and so in that case, we can target the different tumors that happen pretty much anywhere. So the culmination of this is the image you see here. Now, much like in those pictures I showed you, we have cancer cells that are green. And the nucleus, which is the kind of heart of the cell where all the DNA is in blue. And these red dots, those are the nanoparticles that we've treated these cancer cells with. So the reason why this image is really important is because you can spend a lot of time designing nanotechnology, but to see it in work, like see it in action, is something really great. And that's what makes this image really special to Ed and myself, because we can actually see these red nanoparticles attacking cancer tumors, getting in and delivering some kind of payload. In this case, the payload was a bit of genetic information that was designed to turn off one of the genes that causes these cells to be tumorous. So I've also been asked to share a bit of my background as to how I got into cancer research as a way to kind of draw everything together. Well, my research is originally inspired by my father, who is here today. If you wouldn't mind waving, Dad. That's my dad over there. So my father lost his arm. It was a workplace accident, and it was an amputation. And when I was small, I promised him I would make him a new arm one day. And ever since then, I've been trying to learn as much as I can about biology, chemistry, and engineering in an attempt to, rebuild an arm. And that took me throughout grad school, and I did a lot of work in tissue engineering, trying to regrow limbs. And then I came to this point where I had the opportunity to come here to the Koch Institute at MIT to do cancer research. And if you're wondering the connection, I'll explain it. So a cancer tumor is nothing more than a cell that just uncontrollably divides. So it just keeps going and it can't stop, and you get that tumor. So through searching for a cure for cancer, we have to understand how these cells are dividing. And if we can figure out how that works, then perhaps we can leverage that knowledge and use it in a better way, such as to regrow someone's limb. And that's what I'm trying to say is that's the importance of cancer research. Every time you see a new breakthrough about cancer, you should also think about the other applications, because the work we do here isn't just about fixing tumors, but it's about curing many other ailments, because this stuff is almost universal. And so that's the kind of stuff we do here at the Koch Institute, and I hope seeing stuff like this and the stuff that our other presenters have presented will inspire you to take another look at what we do at the Koch Institute, because it's not just cancer, it's everything.
Thank you. So all of our presenters mentioned that the work they did is not done in a vacuum. One of the things we love about the Image Awards is that it showcases the vast array of research that MIT does, the amazing people that are here. So anyone who is involved in the creation of any of these images, could you stand up right now, and we'd like to acknowledge everyone, including our speakers, just anyone who had something to do with creating one of these images. Here in the audience. Thank you so much. So if you want to learn more about the images from our Image Awards contest, from the Koch Institute, from MIT Life Sciences Research. They're all available on the KI Public Galleries website. The next steps are populating this with some of the runners-up from this year, and also some interviews with our presenters and the creators of the images to learn a little more. But everything that we've done since 2011 for the Image Awards is on our website. This is a beautiful shot of the gallery on Main Street. Before we close for the evening, I do want to mention some of the partnerships that we have. We've been really lucky this past year in extending the Image Awards beyond Main Street, beyond MIT. I already mentioned the Wellcome Trust Image Awards. As I said, they're going to be unveiling their exhibit next week, 1 week from today. But we've also, our images have found their way into the Museum of Science down the road, their Hall of Human Life. I think the director had to leave a bit early, but we are proud to be a part of their brand new exhibit all about how the human body works and the environment that we live in. And we've also, just in the past year, come across a partnership with Cell Press and Elsevier. Their monthly Cell Picture Show has featured the Koch Institute Image Awards. On Wednesday, actually, they'll be unveiling the 2014 Image Awards, but you got the sneak peek, so you've already seen what's coming. But do check it out, because they have some great examples of the power of images and how wonderful imagery can be for telling science stories and communicating research, and not just the research stories, but the personal stories, which was also featured just recently in MIT Technology Review. So this article, The Art of Science, showcases some, though not all. They didn't have room for every single image that we did. But we do here in our galleries, all 10 images are on display. I think we have time for a couple questions, and then we want to make sure you get a chance to mingle, ask the researchers questions. So before we open up the floor, can we just thank our presenters once again for the beautiful images and fabulous talks. Sure, if presenters would like to line up, you're welcome to pull your chairs up. Do we have questions? Or do we just have a desire for dessert? All right, well, if our researchers are willing to mingle, please find them. They're fabulous people. They have great things to say, and I only gave them 3 minutes, so learn more. This is your chance. Thank you so much for coming tonight.